Chad here, one half of the We Used to Talk About This at Work podcast with another solo review. So before we get into it, if you're listening on the audio version, do the podcast things, follow us, leave a comment. If you're watching on YouTube, do the YouTube things, like, subscribe, comment. We love engagement. Give us a stock tip, I guess, just something not necessarily fun. The stock market can be fun, but it also can be bad. But leave us a comment of some sort. So one more thing I want to do before I get into it, I want to give Sony a thank you for giving us an advanced screening of Dumb Money. It is the retelling of the whole GameStop stock shortage saga. That's a tongue twister. Didn't want to, embarrass myself too much here. Essentially, I'm not going to get too into it because I don't want to embarrass myself on how unknowledgeable I am on this topic. But the people, basically Reddit, band together to buy shares of GameStop stock in 2020 to fight off basically the 1% that does things all the time, where they'll buy stock for companies that are like getting really close to bankruptcy, and they'll make a lot of money off of it. So they did kind of help GameStop like live a little bit longer. The movie stars Paul Dano as Keith Gill. He's mostly famous for being an internet personality, roaring kitty, or deep fucking value, depending on what platform you find him on. You've got Pete Davidson as his brother. You've got America Ferrera as Jenny, and also Anthony Ramos as Marcus. Basically, the movie follows Paul Dano's character, but then there's like other little segments of like other people, like normal people that have that are following everything that's happening, and they buy the stock, like America Ferrera. She's a nurse, or Anthony Ramos's character, who actually works at GameStop. And then you have our antagonists like Seth Rogen or Vincent D'Onofrio and Nick Offerman. They're the 1% characters that are betting against GameStop to fail so they can make a lot of money. And then you have like sort of like characters off to the side, like Sebastian Stan. He plays one of the founders of Robinhood, the stock app. So this is a pretty stacked cast. Like, you even got Clancy Brown in here, and like I can't tell you if I've ever seen Clancy Brown play a regular person until this movie. So that was kind of cool. You've got a few surprise characters, because this, like I said, this movie is set during 2020. Well, starts off in 2020 and ends in 2021. So you've got a lot of COVID imagery, such as people wearing masks. And so there's a character in Anthony Ramos's storyline that wears a mask almost the entire time. But when he lowers his mask, me along with the crowd almost fell out of our seats. We're like, "You're in this movie, sir?" I'm not going to spoil who it is, but I will give you a hint. This person was in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. That's all I'll say. So for my positives, this movie is a lot of fun. It's funny. It kind of feels like The Big Short a little bit. Like I said, it's got a great cast. It's kind of informative. And like by the end of it, you just feel like rah, rah, rah. Like, yeah, we the people are going to stand up against the 1%, which is a really cool feeling. I will say that this movie is short, but it didn't feel like it. Like when I'm watching the movie, I'm like, okay, this is kind of interesting, but I'm getting kind of tired. And we push through. And when we get to the credits, I look at my watch, and from the moment the movie started to the beginning of the credits, it's only 97 minutes. But I thought we were in the theater for over 2 hours. So that kind of is not good. The year currently is 2023. I don't want to see COVID imagery. We just like that is still a memory solid in most of our minds, you know? I'm not ready to look at that stuff again. And also, I'm very surprised that this movie was made this quickly. Like, the GameStop stuff resolved in 2021, and the year is currently 2023, and Hollywood already made a movie about it. Like, that doesn't feel right. Like, that's not very common for Hollywood. And lastly, Shailene Woodley. She's most famous for Divergent, I guess, and Little Big Lies. She plays Caroline Gill, Keith's wife, and I don't know, like, she didn't really feel like a whole character. She just felt like somebody that was just gonna back her man every which way. Like, at the beginning of the movie, he gets some advice about should he invest their entire life savings into GameStop. And his friend's like, no, that's stupid. And he gets home and she's like, I support you putting like $50,000 of every penny that we've saved into this GameStop stock that is, worth nothing at the time. And he's like, I just don't know. And she's like, why don't you get on your stream and talk to the people? I'm like, what? And like, she's just not like there. At no point does she like push back on anything that's happening. And it's just like, this is not a character. So she was extremely underwritten. But all those negatives to say, I did like this movie. I did enjoy this movie. I don't know if this is something you should see in the theater, but this is something that once it hits streaming, you should definitely check it out. So, like I said, once more, I'm Chad, one half of the We Used to Talk About This at Work podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, do the YouTube things. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. We're dropping stock tips. We're all about to get rich out here. And if you're listening to the audio, please subscribe if you aren't, and leave a rating that helps boost us up. And you have a good one, good people, and I'll catch you in the next one.